great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of invasion.
Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. This is episode number 848 of the Immigration Answer Show. Guys, let me know if you can hear me. I know I don't have a great signal today, so hopefully it's coming through. Let me know if it's not. Otherwise, I'll just do audio only. Can you guys give me a thumbs up or something in the comments to let me know that this is coming through okay? I would appreciate it. I'll be here hopefully for the next hour answering your immigration law-related questions. Good. Thank you, Hold. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Hope that your week is off to a good start. I am in Kansas City for one more day of softball, and then I'll be home and back in the studio tomorrow. I am going to try to answer as many immigration-related questions as I can for an hour. So please be ready. Please keep your questions short and concise. I would appreciate it. All right, let me turn off that banner. Remember, everybody was wondering where the link is. You shouldn't wait for the show to start to ask for the link. You should text the word show to 314-470-3300. That's your best way to get the link to the waiting room. Robert, I have AirPods Max. I use them all the time. They don't work as well when I have crappy reception, it seems like. Okay, so I'm going to get started. I'm going to go to London Boy, Sharon, FV, and Luca. London Boy, hello. You're on mute, London Boy. Are you there? Hello, London Boy. Going once, going twice. Masalema, London Boy. Let's go to Sharon. Hello, Sharon. Hello. Sharon, are you there? Can you hear me? I can hear you in the background, but I guess you're not there. All right, I'm going to go to FV, Luca, and Nora. FV, hello.
Hey, Jim. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Actually, I called you earlier this year. I am that person that mistakenly registered to vote because my wife thought I could register to vote being a permanent resident.
I remember.
I don't know if you remember, but I decided to file for naturalization, and I filed in March of this year, and I got my interview. What was it, like mid-May, mid to late May?
Okay.
Interview went very well. The immigration officer or the USCIS officer, he didn't even ask anything about that mistake that I made. In the form, I clearly, stated that I registered to vote. I attached all the evidence and everything, but he didn't even bring it up. So I became a citizen like 2 weeks ago, and
Congratulations.
thank you. And I just wanted to kind of like give you an update on that. I'm a big fan of yours. I watch your show pretty often, and I even listen to your podcast. So thank you for you were that little push that I needed to file for my naturalization, and yeah, I just wanted to give you an update on that.
Oh, awesome, FV. That's so great. Is it okay if we add you to our list of people that we helped? We're trying to get 10,000
Yes,
people. Awesome.
actually, that is the reason why I wanted to call the show, because I wanted you to add me to that list.
Awesome. We will add you to FV to the list, and I'm very, very happy for you. Congratulations. That was a great timeline, and I'm
Yes.
glad. And now your wife's off the hook, right?
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. Thanks, brother. Thanks for the call. Have a
Thank you
great
very
day.
much, Jim. Thank
See
you,
you,
you
buddy.
too.
Oh, what a great way to start the show. That was great news. All right. So we'll make sure to let the team know to add FV to the list. I'm going to go to Luca. Hello, Luca.
Hey, Jim, calling you from the second floor.
I figured.
Just want to quickly ask you. So I filed a while back for 485 and 130, and me and my spouse moved. So I did like change of address on both accounts, like online that they have option for both 45 and 130, and then we also filed 850, is it 855, I-855 to change the address for affidavit of support.
Okay.
Is there anything else you think I should do or make sure that they have all the files needed that I moved to a new address? And it's like a complete new region, so I think they're gonna have to send files to another office.
No, I think you're fine.
Okay. And do I need to update it on as additional what's it called evidence to provide like a new driving license or something, or just wait until the
Yeah,
interview?
I would just wait. Yeah.
Okay. And last question. I know that by law, any immigrant has to carry some sort of identification that they're here, that immigrated. So for change of status, like I should always carry my EAD and like the 797. What do you usually suggest?
I would carry the EAD. I would have a digital copy of all of your immigration paperwork on your phone.
On my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Well, thanks so much. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Lucas. See,
Thanks
buddy,
for all
keep
the
us
help.
posted, okay? For sure.
Will do.
All right, I'm going to go to Nora, then peace be upon you, then EJ and George, but George's got to turn off his camera. So let's go to Nora. Hello, Nora. Nora, you're on mute. Hello, Nora. All right, Nora's out of here. Guys, got to be ready. Peace be upon you, then EJ, then George. Peace be upon you. Hello.
Hello, hi, good morning.
Good morning. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah. Yeah, one of my friends, she's listening because she's at work, she cannot attend. So she sent me a question to ask you. She said, "Hi, Jim, I hope you're doing okay. I want to sincerely thank you for guiding me through the process of amending my husband's tax return. We successfully completed the amendment and received both the amendment return and the original return. However, we've been unable to obtain the transcript from the IRS. I have few questions. First is, can we submit both the amendment return and the original return to USCIS in place of the transcript? And this, so like say it, read all the questions, then you answer, or just read one by
Yeah,
one?
let's just do one at a time. Yeah. So the returns solve a different problem than the tax transcripts. The returns show what your income is. The tax transcripts shows that you've paid your taxes. So if for whatever reason she's having a hard time getting her tax transcripts, I would have her go to the IRS, local IRS office, and ask them for help, because the return or amended return won't solve the problem of needing to demonstrate that you've always paid your taxes. It might not come up, but if it does come up, you're going to want to have proof that you've paid all your taxes.
Okay, and the second question reads, my husband is unable to find his Form 1040 for the years 2022-2023. Can he submit just the IRS transcript and his double twos for those years instead?
I would, when they go to the IRS to ask them about the transcripts, I'd ask them if they could get a copy of it. I don't know the answer to that question because we always send in the 1040. So I would, I mean, if that's all they got, that's all they got, but it might lead to a request for evidence. So I would push hard on when I go to the IRS to ask them about the tax transcripts. I'd say, is there also any way? I don't know if the IRS has like a FOIA like we do for immigration to say, hey, can I get a copy of my tax returns that I filed?
Okay. And the other question reads, I previously filed Form I-539, but it was denied because I filed the wrong form. Will this negatively affect my adjustment of status application? And it was denied without the denial, or was denied without the denial was without prejudice.
So this is for the beneficiary filed for an extension of status or change of status. Do you know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Um,
actually, she didn't file for she want to adjust her status. She was a student and out of status and married to a citizen.
right. But you're saying that at some point she filed a 539. That's a change of status or extension of status. I would imagine that it was to change status from an F1 to a B1, B2, but it doesn't, as long as she didn't say anything that was false, it should be fine. It's not a big deal.
Okay. And what's the best way to respond to an RFE mail or email? Mail or online?
These days, I'm thinking online. If as long as you get some kind of proof that it was received.
Okay. And the last question is how long is for someone else. How long do you have to wait if someone gets divorced, like a US citizen gets divorced and you want to marry them? How long do you have to wait before
Hmm.
you marry them and also before you file for
There's
green
no way
card?
to answer that question. It depends on the details of the relationship. So, if a couple's been living apart for 20 years and then the divorce finally became final, that's very different than if you're married to someone, you get divorced on Friday and married on Monday, and you were living with your old spouse on Monday. So I can't answer that in the abstract. It's got to be in the facts of the case.
Yeah, we'll come back some other day for more details, inshallah. But just
Thank
like
you,
Allah,
brother.
khair. Thank you, sir.
Assalamu alaikum. Yep. EJ is here. Hello, EJ.
Hi, Jim. Good morning.
Good morning.
I don't really have a question. I'm just calling to say thank you to you and your team. I'm actually a current client that's kind of at the end of my spousal visa journey with my husband. I'm in America, my husband's in Nigeria. And your team has just been so helpful. I was very anxious at the beginning of this whole process because when I was younger, my mother was deported. And although I was born in America, I had just so much anxiety going into this, especially
Sure.
being from Nigeria and my husband from Nigeria as well.
Sure.
But your team was just so helpful, so knowledgeable. They really helped walk me through all the steps. And now my husband has his green card, he has his visa in hand. He's going to be
Nice.
coming anytime soon, just kind of wrapping things up in Nigeria. But
That's so
I
great.
just wanted to say a huge thank you to the lawyers. I had Katerina and Andrew.
Nice.
And then for the paralegals, I had a few. I had Sebastian, Nathaniel, and Hillary.
Oh,
And I
you've been
think
around a while.
also,
If you had Nathaniel, you've been
yeah,
around a while. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, we started in December of 2022, and
Wow.
he just had his interview and was approved that day in middle of May.
That's great.
So it's just been a slow process, but yeah. We also had, I think, Daphne help us with some things. I
Mm.
think that's how to say her name. But I
Yep,
just
that
wanted
is.
to say thank you to all of you. We're so grateful, and I'm just so excited that my husband will be here with me soon.
Oh, thanks. Send me a picture when he gets there, okay?
I will. Thank
Thanks,
you.
EJ. Thanks for the call. Have a great day.
Yep, you too.
Hey, we're getting lots of nice calls today. How about that? Must be Monday. I don't know. People must have had a good weekend. That's great news that EJ's husband is on his way. Got his visa approved on the day of the interview. How about that? So we're going to go to George, Santa, Catherine, and Roger. Hello, George.
Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How about you, sir?
Great. Thanks.
I'll try to keep it as short as I can. My wife and I had our interview with immigration last week on Wednesday. My situation is very unique. I was born on U.S. soil, but my father at the time was a diplomatic agent for his embassy.
Yeah.
And of course, with that is that the child is not automatically a U.S. citizen. As a baby, when I was born in America, we decided to go back to our homeland, and I grew up there. And then I came back in 2002. I was only 16 years old, and we came on a tourist visa. Again, this is something I found out later on when I got
Sure.
older. I'm almost 40. But anyways, we came back, and my father told me to just stay here. So basically, I overstayed my visa. And I assumed that I was a U.S. citizen this entire time, until recently. I would say 2 years ago, a job that I was trying to work for. I did work for them in the past, and then I left, and then I tried to come back when I try to come back, they found out that I'm not a U.S. citizen.
Mhm.
So I started a whole process of, getting the green card, and I was, married.
On what
Well,
on
I'm
what
married right
on what
now.
basis? Marriage to a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
George, are you there?
And I guess, being born to a diplomatic parent, what are the chances of, this going well? The immigration officer was supposed to give us an answer last Friday, but we haven't heard anything yet. We submitted the I-130, the I-485. The immigration officer he didn't question the legitimacy of the marriage at all.
Sure.
He basically questioned, of course, with my situation, asking like, so did you know you were a U.S. citizen, or did you not know you were a U.S. citizen? And I was like, look, my parent for the longest time told me, I'm a U.S. citizen. I assume I was. I have a social security card. I have a driver's license with the real ID. I've been paying taxes for like the last 20 years. So there's that.
So let's back up to that time period before you applied for that job. And now I'm getting feedback now on the audio.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's okay.
Hello?
So did you ever vote?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Did you ever vote?
No, I did not vote.
Did you ever register to vote?
No.
Did you ever mark on any forms that you were a U.S. citizen?
Yes, and on the 485 form, I did check the box where it asks, have you ever falsely claimed that you were a U.S.
And then you walked into immigration without talking to an immigration lawyer about that?
No, we did not. My wife and I decided to just do it ourselves, and
That's insane.
yeah, it's kind of late now, so.
Well, so if I'm the officer, I'm going to have knives out, and did they have you sign a statement or anything at your interview?
No, we didn't sign anything. I went in, I just put my index finger on the scan, and that was it. Before we left, when we went into the office, the immigration officer said we were supposed to sign something, but at the end, we didn't sign anything at all.
Did the officer ask you what kind of forms you said that you were a citizen on?
Yeah, it was this job that I worked for. It was law enforcement, and again, this was like 2008. I was only 21, 22 at the time.
Yeah.
And I said that, hey, I checked this box because, like I told the immigration officer, like, hey, I thought I was a U.S. citizen. So.
Okay, so there's a very limited exception that does not apply to you for a false claim to citizenship. So you have a big problem. This is a deportable offense.
Okay.
Falsely claiming U.S. citizenship is a deportable offense. There's a limited exception if one of your parents was a U.S. citizen and you always thought that you were a citizen. But if your parents were diplomats, that wouldn't apply.
It was just my father.
What, was your mother a U.S. citizen?
No, at the time she was just a regular. She was just a wife to my dad.
The point I'm making is the exception doesn't apply to the children of diplomats. So,
okay.
So I think your green card's probably going to be. I mean, I hope not. I hope your green card's not going to be denied. But it's a false claim. So you're saying you marked the I-9, which is a government form that said you're a U.S. citizen.
It was an application form to the job that I applied for 20 plus years ago. I'm sorry, 17 years ago.
You keep harping on it that it was 20 years ago. They don't care about that. That doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
So did they approve the I-130?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, they told us that the I-130 will be approved, but like I said,
but has it been approved?
No, not yet.
When did you find out that you were not a U.S. citizen?
2022.
Okay, and what year would you say that you applied for that job?
2008.
Okay, so the law changed in '96, so it doesn't go back that far. Okay. Did you ever go back and tell that company that you weren't a U.S. citizen?
When I reapplied to that company in 2022, that's when they checked and found out. And basically, they told me that I can come back to work for them as long I get an immigration lawyer to write a letter saying that I'm in the process of working on it, which I got a letter from that immigration lawyer, but I decided to not continue with the immigration lawyer when we filed the paperwork for immigration.
Okay, well that's good. I'm glad you didn't submit that. Okay, so wait, would it be safe to say that you marked that you were a U.S. citizen not once but twice with the same company?
Yes, I guess if you put it like that, yes.
That's how they're going to put it, brother. Not me. That's how they're going to put it. This is a huge mess.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. And I'm an immigrant with a U.S. birth certificate, but cannot become a U.S. citizen.
Right. Well, you could become a U.S. citizen, but you made a false claim to U.S. citizenship.
Yeah. Okay. Well, right now we're just waiting to hear back from immigration. So.
All right. Well, so I might not do that. I might attack. If I were your lawyer and you had come to us and told me the situation, I would have had you well prepared for your interview, but also I would have briefed the legal issue and tried to make the argument that you got as close to a good faith reason to believe that you were a citizen as possible. I don't know that but just sitting here waiting and saying, oh, we'll just take our shot and see what happens with USCIS, that's a bad mindset.
Yeah. So do you think going forward after this moment, besides just waiting around, what do you think is the best step to do? It's, I guess, get an immigration lawyer?
Yeah, I think you need to try to make the argument that this was a good faith mistake, that you thought because you were born here that you were a U.S. citizen, and I'd brief it and cite it and walk them through it. The goal is to educate them as to your position. Right now, you haven't educated them as to your position at all, other than the testimony you gave at your interview. But what you need is a legal brief explaining why you think that you fall into the exception or get really close to it, so that they feel sympathy for you, so that they don't deny you. Because if they deny you, then they're almost for sure going to put you into removal.
Wow. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you for answering my question, sir. I appreciate it.
Good luck.
All right, man. Thank you.
It boggles my mind. I can't imagine anyone walking into a green card interview knowing that they had mistakenly thought they were a U.S. citizen and not bringing a lawyer with them. It boggles my mind. Or going to an interview when you know Trump's in office. I can't understand the mindset of something so risky. Just going, oh, we'll just see what happens. That's no bueno at all. Sana, hello.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
I'm well. How are you doing?
Good. I have a question regarding the bona fide marriage evidence. Again, I was here last time. So, my question is, can I use some of the evidence that I used for 2-year green card now for 10-year green card?
Why would you do that?
Um, because I think the evidence that I have now after getting a 2-year green card is not enough. I still have time. I still have like almost 1 more year trying to put as much as evidence that I can in the box. But some of the evidence that I submit for 2-year green card, like house deed, like car title, I was thinking that those are, like a good evidence for 10-year. Like, can I put them again, or I don't have to put anything?
I would spend. So is the marriage okay? Everything okay with the marriage?
Yeah, everything is perfect.
So you're not asking the right questions then. So first of all, let's just put this to bed. There's no value or reason to send them anything that they already have. Okay?
Okay.
I mean, maybe a deed on a house. That might be the only thing, just because that's such a big thing. But other than that,
Okay.
resending them stuff and saying the stuff I have left or that I could get now isn't as good as what I had before, like that's a bad way to think about it. What you should be thinking is, I have a year left. I can develop a ton of evidence. Why don't I open up some joint accounts with both our names on it? Why don't I start gathering mail that comes to our house? Why don't I start building a case with trips and other things that we do together, other big purchases? Having the mindset of, oh, I'm just going to send them the stuff I had before. Like, number one, that's lazy. And number two, it's not trying to win your case. It's not trying very hard to win your case. I don't know why you would go into it with that mindset.
Um, yeah, I understand. That's my thing. Like, I have a hard time convincing my husband to have like a shared financial life together because he was married before and his first wife basically did a lot of stuff that kind of made him disappointed. That's why, like, I have a very hard time to get him, to share everything, like having a checking account so our direct deposit go through that and pay all the bills. He does pay like almost 80-90% off the bill. I do pay like 10-20%. um I have very hard time honestly to convincing him. I did told him, last time when I called you, you gave me a lot of good advice, so I told him, I even shared the video, but he still said no. We have shared, saving account. We have I actually, made him to open a checking account and add me as a joint owner.
Yeah, but
So
if you don't use it, it's almost as bad as not having one at all.
we do use it. That's what I told him. I was like, we have to keep it up. We have to like throw some money in it. And then in our checking account, he have two jobs. So one of his job, he was like, okay, I will, add my direct deposit to that account, and then you can do yours. So it's not like 100% off his money to go to that account so we can pay the bills. Like, I don't know what to do with him. Honestly, I have very hard time.
Well, so that's why my first question was, is everything with the marriage okay? And so to me, this brings us to a different issue, which is, does this person that you're married to want you to stay in the United States and get a 10-year green card? Because it seems like they're being pretty controlling. It seems like
Yeah.
they're more concerned with keeping their money separate than they are of you getting a 10-year green card and your citizenship. So I think that's a whole other set of problems beyond immigration. But from an immigration standpoint, he's making it harder and harder for you to win your case.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. So I don't know. Like, I'm trying to add as much as evidence as I can. Like, vacation we go together, all the purchases, the gift that he bought me, the gift that I bought for him. But like 100% off, like the money that he's getting paid, he doesn't want to like share an account with me. So I don't know. I asked him why. He have like no reason. He's like, nope, nope, I don't want to. I'm like, I don't know what to do with you then.
Well, I still think this case is approvable. It'd be if you are commingling some money and you're both paying bills from the same address, like the bank statements go to the same address. The fact that some of it's kept in a separate account isn't the biggest deal in the world. It's not great. It's not what I would choose if I were in charge. But if there's other marriage evidence, the case is still approvable.
Okay, so do you think like the bills that he's paying and then the bills that I'm paying from the same address, do you think we should, have a copy of all those bank statements while we
Oh,
sell?
for sure.
Okay, even like if there's not my name in the, on the bills?
Yeah. It's joint. It's joint account. Let's just say, for example, let's say you have auto insurance. Okay, let's say you have auto insurance with Geico, and so if the payments for Geico are going out of your husband's bank account, but you also have a piece of evidence showing that a car that you drive is insured, and that the bills are all going to your joint home address, and that's where your driver's license is. So it's sort of like putting all the pieces of a puzzle together. It's not just the independent pieces of evidence.
Okay. Yeah, well, that was all my questions, and thank you so much.
Thanks, Anna. Good luck. Yep, for sure. What do you guys think in the comments about the husband that won't share his money? What do you guys think about that? I find that sort of troubling. All right, let's go to Catherine. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can indeed.
Okay,
Go
so
ahead, Catherine.
I came to the United States with the parole, what's cancel. They sent us a letter saying that we need to return our like work permit. Do I have to return as well my social?
Your social security card?
Yes.
No, no.
So I'm married to a U.S. citizen. We already filed all the application, but right now my work permit, it's denied now. It's canceled. So I can't work until I get a new work permit due to marriage. But yeah, in the letter they sent us to all the paralegal people, they said to return the work permit. So I was just asking. Well, my concern was if I have to return it, even I am already applying for a new work permit due to marriage, or do I keep it with me or I return it? What do you think I should do?
I think that if I were you, I would check because I'm 95% sure that there are lawyers right now challenging whether USCIS's claim that you have to give back that work card is valid or not. In other words, people are challenging that, right? So I think that I would wait to see how that litigation goes and see if a judge agrees with them that you have to give the work card back.
Okay, so right now just keep it with me until any other news.
I would.
Okay, well, that was only my question. Right now, I'm just waiting for. I already have my biometrics and all of the rest, but no, my interview. It's just recent, so I'm sure it's gonna take a while. But yeah, I'm just waiting for that.
Good luck, friend.
Well, thank you for your help.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
All right, Roger. I'll then be there. Oh, Roger. Might be
Hi, everyone. Can everyone hear me? Okay, perfect. I am getting information from Jim. I think he lost connection, so stand by. Let me see what he says. All right, he's coming back. Stand by.